To what extent is violence justified through the de-individuation theory?
So, in order to answer this question that was just played, we must understand what the de-individuation theory is. So in general, it's a loss of self-awareness and individual accountability in a group. And the theory basically shows that violence and impulsive behavior of individuals in large crowds and mobs, such as what you'll see soon in this sick, lit, hype AF Eagles game. Woo! So basically, knowing what violence means is also essential. Violence is known as an aggressive act in which the person abuses individuals directly or indirectly. This could mean physical or verbal. However, why are people more likely to blame people in actions of this theory that we're talking about? And why do people feel more secure with with people they're more comfortable with when they're in group settings? We'll find out.
This can be explained through the sociocultural level of analysis, which the theory of individuation lies within, which states that humans are social creatures. We as people feel the need to belong. What better way to fit in than to just act like one another? In a study done by Johnson and Downings in 1979, the social identity theory was explored, which in turn further illustrated the de-individuation theory. Through their studies, where they illustrated a strong correlation between the social normalities of the time period and the lack of identity, they saw that when participants were dressed in hooded KKK robes, they administered a large amount of shock to a patient. However, when wearing a normal nurse's outfit, they administered less shock overall. They found that people were more likely to commit violent acts, not because they felt the personal need to, but because this action was popular at the time, much like with the rise of the KKK during the time period, where it was socially normal to look down on African Americans. Overall, these people were acting out and committing violent acts against others because they felt that it was normal to do so based on the amount of other people that were doing the same thing.
Yeah. Now, we will provide an example of de-individuation theory through social norms of our time period. Here, we will show how aggression at sports games, such as the Eagles football, often escalates to large fights due to this theory.
Hi, my name's Courtney. I love to go to homeless shelters and help out. I love to go to those dog and cat shelters. I love to teach children in my free time. Yo, but now I'm about to go to a football game. Ooh! Yo, what? I think he just tore his ACL. No, that was definitely a chop block. You kidding me? That was not a chop block? Looks like it's my turn to ensue in violence since they're all doing it, right? Right?
Another reason this happens is because people are literally less likely to be caught, as the victims or bystanders are less likely to have recognized your specific face in an act of group violence. To further explore this, we can study Zimbardo, who tested the theory in 1969. In this, he saw that people were more open to administering shock to different women if their identity was hidden. This can show that with inflicting violence, or abuse in general, anonymity allowed the abuser to feel more secure and that they won't be caught. Also, they don't feel as though they themselves are being the sole cause of violence, especially in groups, because they individualize themselves and place a more generalized blame on the situation. So it is shown that when the person is in a group, you literally will less likely are able to be seen. However, when your identity is still hidden by yourself, you are still less likely to place blame on just yourself.
Lit. We will again illustrate how de-individuation theory is shown at a robbery.
Courtney just stole my stuff. Now I'm gonna have to call the police on her because I need my 101 Freaky Animal Facts book back. Was.
Wah!
Now I'm never going to be able to get my book back.
Wah!
Shucks.
Overall,
the de-individuation theory has a large impact on how violence is carried out, it is seen that the need for social acceptance for humans, and through group violence, that people do not feel as if they harbor all the blame for violent acts.